Hey, greetings good people and welcome to another episode of Moshpit. Today's episode is going to be a rather quick one because I'll have to start working on some interesting projects, if I do say so myself, mainly regarding a particular RTX 3070 that I just got in the mail. Yes, I managed to get my hands on one of them, so if you'd like to watch this style of content, then I guess it's time to get subscribed because the videos are going to come out really soon. Hopefully, TM. Now, unfortunately, the first news of the day is quite sad, I should say, because MSI's factory in China caught on fire, and this isn't the only bad news we've heard from MSI this year. Their CEO fell to his death only a few months ago, and the company has been caught up in some other shenanigans, if I do say so myself, this year, with the most recent of which I can remember being the entire Starlit Partners RTX 3080 and RTX 3090 resale scandal, where they were selling those graphics cards at basically scalping price, double or triple the price. Now, I haven't been able to find out whether the people have been hurt during this fire, but I hope that for their sake they're okay, because otherwise that would be terrible for them and for the families. And if you were waiting for more MSI's GPUs, then yeah, what can I say? I'd assume they'll have some issues fulfilling some of their orders, including the RMA orders, but fingers crossed that everything will be fine, because 2020 so far, man, this has been a really rocky year. With that being said, let's stay in China and talk about their 6G satellite, which they've recently launched into space. Whilst we, mere mortals, especially here in Germany, are still struggling in 4G, China is already making the giant leap towards 6G. Now, the experimental satellite that was sent into orbit on Friday had 6G technology on board of the Long March 6 carrier rocket, and alongside that they also had 12 other satellites that have now made it into space, and it's now, I guess, high time to test them. Given we still haven't found a proper use for 5G, however, especially for smartphones and other consumer technologies, I would say most of them just yet, I'd actually be curious to see how the marketing will look for 6G and whatever they're going to say that we need it for. But here's a fun fact for you. 6G is actually 100 times faster than 5G, so if you thought 5G was fast, then this is mind-bendingly fast. But let's stay on Earth for now and talk about how PS5 games can't be stored on external HDDs, because apparently Sony locked this feature to only older PS4 games, but it remains to be seen whether this will get patched a bit later or not. Even so, you'd still be able to, or not able, you'd still have to move your games from your hard drive to your new shiny new SSD on those consoles to actually benefit from the super fast loading features that they're boasting. But with about 650 gigs of usable storage, that sure doesn't sound like a lot, so be careful with how many Call of Duty copies you store onto your next-gen console, because the latest two, they're all over. I think the latest one is like 200 gigs, and no, over 100, 200 gigs. Either way, who cares? Like, just put 2 Call of Duty games on it and you're kind of full. But now let's go through the latest big Navi leaks and rumors, because those are always fun, eh? We've seen the SAPPHIRE RX 6800 and 6800 XT make an appearance online, and their designs are quite interesting. Now, the fan reminds me of a tough series board, but the rest is a bit sprinkled with RGB elements and metallic designs, which give it a bit of a flair, you know. And I'm still not sure if I prefer this design over the reference design that AMD have done, but it's definitely nice to see anything else that's not a reference design, because if you haven't watched my previous Moshpits episode, quite a few board manufacturers have decided to also launch their carbon copies of reference designs. But you know what's not nice? Seeing mining results for the latest big Navi and RTX 30 series GPUs. I dislike them with a passion, because I hated the entire mining craze about 2 or 3 years ago, but I think it was 2 years ago, and I most definitely don't want them to make a return. Because if you thought it was hard to get your hands on any processors or graphics cards right now, then imagine how much more difficult it's going to be if we're going to have another mining craze. Either way, according to the latest rumors, the normal RX 6800 is 50% faster in mining than the beefier and more expensive RTX 3090. But as I am not well versed in mining, and to be fair, I couldn't care less about it, I'll just quote WVCCF Tech over here and saying that the RX 6800 might be able to pay for itself in about 4 months at the current rate. And this is obviously going off of the Better Hash and Nice Hash calculators. Now, is this something you'd actually see yourself doing in the future, buying those cards just to mine off of them, pay for themselves basically in like 3 or 4 months, essentially getting your money back and then using it as a gaming GPU? But I guess it would make more sense to get yourself an RX 6800 or 6800 XT card, because apparently you're gonna be able to fit more of them into your mining rig, because the RX 6800 XT is less of a chunker compared to the RTX 3070. We've seen some pictures coming from Lenovo comparing the two graphics cards, and I have to admit that the reference RX 6800 XT design kinda grew on me. Now, expect to see those cards in your future pre-builds from Lenovo, but who am I kidding? Who from my audience actually buys pre-builds? I guess all of you guys are building your PCs yourselves, right? I sure hope so. Now, speaking of things that you should expect, what can you expect from Apple's event tomorrow? Well, expect to see Martin and I do a live watch party on our crowd Discord server, that's for sure. And other than that, I believe we're actually going to be able to see the first ARM-based laptops unveiled, together with a release date for Big Sur, and maybe, just maybe, we're also going to see the Apple AirPods Studios. So I guess don't forget to tune into our watch party tomorrow at 7 PM Central European Standard Time, and do subscribe to my channel for some RTX 3070 content coming out really soon. And as usual, in the description you're going to find links to all of the original articles. And don't forget, this has been Alex with a Red Elk, signing off. Bye.